Hey, I'm Joe Bowles with Paul Marco Mortgage, and we're here today with Keith Sampson, the owner of Cloud9 Multisports. So Keith, tell us a little bit more about yourself and why Cloud9 Multisports.
Oh, well, let's see. I've been working with businesses for more than 20 years between two different primary careers, and I have a ridiculous passion for customer experience. In fact, like speaking, training. One of the keynotes I have is called Create an Incredible Customer Experience, or DOC, right? And it's really about how to compete in the experience economy. Right. And so developing that and working with businesses on that kind of put it on the radar that I wanted to own a retail business or business of some sort where I get to work in that direct consumer world instead of the business to business world, and really put all the things I believe and preach and teach into practice. And so last year, I think it was February 6th, Sunday morning, I'm sitting on my couch before church, and I get an email from Green Earth Multisport that they were going to close the doors and move to Colorado in March. And with a passion for fitness and really understanding that this community needed a place that could do proper shoe fitting and really address those types of functions and needs, I'm like, there's an opportunity. Right. And long story short, by that Friday night, I'm laying in bed, creating a new LLC, grabbing the URL, all that stuff, signed the lease on the building, and soft open less than 120 days later, when grand opening was July 1st last year. So it was fast and furious.
Wow, that's amazing. So tell us 3 unique things about Cloud9 that kind of separates you from the rest.
Well, number one, in creating this business, it was really all about the customer experience. That is the core of the business, and that's what I challenge other businesses. It's not me, it's not the village or the Winona Lake or this building or even any of the brands, right? If you use anything like that as the core of the business, eventually you're setting yourself up for some sort of failure, because COVID happens. So if it's the building and people can't shop, well, what's left? You know what I mean? So by really going, okay, the core of the business is going to be the customer experience, and we build everything on top of that, and every different vertical, whether it's online presence, social media, the in-store experience, is all verticals to be able to execute on that customer experience. So that's number one. Number two, it even goes into the name. Cloud9 is that feeling of euphoria when you accomplish something. So really it goes into we want to help people get to those moments and create those memories. The third thing is really focusing in on that aspect of it. And one of the things that I believe in when you take customer experience as the core, one of the pillars that I teach is harnessing technology and using that to enhance the customer experience. So one of our big investments we did, we come to the studio back here, and we put in the HH's insole system, not just it as a system, but we actually use it to help look at people's bad foot behavior and walking behavior. And by addressing that, we can directly address the pain and discomfort people feel from just being on their feet and doing normal activity. And some of the amazing stories that have already come out of just having that technology here and being able to help people, it's really been amazingly fulfilling.
Wow. Okay, so this next question is kind of twofold. I look around and I see a ton of brands. So kind of what brands do you have, and then who are them brands for?
So, when we first opened, we opened with Brooks, Saucony, Ufus, Knockaround and Gooder, and some of our own branded t-shirts and things like that, right? We kind of had feature socks. We had our target of I kind of had the vision of here are the other brands I want to have. But last summer, people were still coming out of supply chain issues. Brands weren't opening doors. They were being very, very selective on where that inventory was going to go, because they either didn't have it or had very limited amounts. So, it's just go with what we have, focus on the customer experience, and keep building with the idea of what eventually this place would become. So, if you came in last July or August, this place was sparse. You know what I mean? You come in now, it's a completely different experience. Right. So, from November to February, around there, we've added Olokai, we've added Hoka, we've added Viore, and Darn Tough Socks, Sax Underwear. We keep adding more and more brands around that type of focus on that comfort, pain management, and that high quality product that backs up our incredible customer experience.
What's the future look like? What if you look 2 years ahead?
So our goal is to continue to take care of our community. I have some business aspirations for the business, but at the end of the day, that's all dependent on if we can continue to serve our community the way we're doing it today. Long story short, I put, the goal for 2022 is to lose as little money as possible and to tee it up for 2023, because we opened so late into the season. And so far that's been great. You know what I mean? 2023 is off to a ripping start. And so, you know, I tend to move very fast and aggressive when it comes to, especially when you know you can impact the lives of others. So, you know, short term, if 2023 we hit the numbers that we're hitting and I get the staffing established, I've got amazing people already, so we're well on that track. And you know, at the end of this year, I'll kind of evaluate and go, what is the next steps? Do we look at a second location? Do I look at somewhere like, you know, Mishawaka, South Bend area, like a Granger or something, and kind of take, does this recipe and this experience that we've created here, can it be done independent of me, because I won't be up there all the time? Can it be done in a different community where, you know what I mean, where it's just different than Winona Lake, and test that, right? Test that proof of concept. And if it does, maybe 4 or 5 years down the road, we start looking at like franchising and stuff. I mean, I don't know. You know, because whenever I take one step forward, I try to go, okay, this positive step forward, what are the 3 different avenues that I can positively impact? And then I get choices and I get opportunities.
So why this community? Why Kosciuszko County? Why Winona Lake?
Well, I mean, so originally I'm from Maryland, like right outside DC, outside the Beltway. Grew up there, came out here in the fall of '95 to attend Grace College. Worked full-time to put myself through school, you know, established roots here, graduated in 2000, and this is my community. So yeah, that's why this community in Winona Lake just is something incredibly special in and of itself. I mean, when I look at when I first came out here in '95, and in fact, my sophomore year, I was in a dorm that's now a parking lot next to the post office, right? Like this area was completely different. And so all of the investment that's been made by others throughout the years to really give us something special. And in reality, that's part of how I look at this. Like, it's a blessing to be a steward of one of the properties here in the village. And with being a steward of that, it kind of comes with the responsibility going, are we doing everything at the top of our game? So that way we're lifting the entire village up in the process.
Finally, how do we find Cloud9?
Cloud9, multisport.com. It has maps, it has connections to our social media. I mean, that's the easiest way and ways to connect with us. But otherwise, if you're coming down to the village of Winona, we're right next to Cerulean, we're right on the canal, right on the walking path and riding and everything. So, you know, it's pretty easy to find us, but yeah, connecting on social media is one of the best. We are very, very active there in sharing the events of the area, new products that we get in, fun things that we're doing. We've got the Indy Mini this Saturday, so we've got about 30 people that joined the Cloud9 team and just kind of a community team. And yeah, so it's a lot of fun and really trying to help encourage and bring value to others on a regular basis.
Amazing. So I'm Joe Bowles with Hallmark Mortgage, and we had the pleasure of sitting down with Keith Sampson from Cloud9 Multisports. This is Hallmark Mortgage TV. Catch you next time.